For more, let's bring in former Reagan economist and CEO of Laffer Associates, Art Laffer. This is a double whammy A-block. Art, it's always great to see you. I want to start by talking about the economy. I want to talk about the jobs number that the White House is touting from last week. When I look at that number, I see 62% labor participation, not enough people in the labor force. So I look at the 3.6% unemployment and I kind of shrug my shoulders and roll my eyes. The numbers aren't telling the whole story.
No, they aren't. By the way, Mike Pompeo's amazing, isn't he? I just love listening to him. You're right on the employment numbers. I mean, there are a lot of anomalies in the last week's employment report. For example, I mean, the establishment survey had us up 327,000 jobs. But if you look at the household survey, it had us down 300,000 jobs. You know, I don't know which number's correct, which number's not, but I don't think this was a great report all the way around. I think you're going to see a lot of problems coming in the future. I think the participation rate that you mentioned is very, very, very low. I mean, with Clinton, I think it was up to 67, 68%. And the unemployment rate does stay very, very low. And I think the answer to what you're talking about there is that people have left the labor force. They have left it and are no longer counted as unemployed, and they have left it and have reduced the participation rate. So this is not all good news by any means. We'll have to see in the next few months what happens, but I am not looking forward to much better news. I don't think it's going to happen.
That's exactly what I think. I think people have left the labor force because they're saying wage growth isn't keeping up with inflation. I hated going to my job anyway, and so why bother? I can still work off the stimulus that I got during the pandemic and the boosted unemployment benefits, right? If you put some aside. And oh, by the way, I can apply for food stamps. I can take advantage of other social programs that are offered. And honestly, if I wait long enough, I think the administration will probably send me another check. That's what I think people are thinking. But Art, to the point that I was making with Mike before we let him go about this feeling of the American psychology of how these higher prices impact people, according to a new poll by the American Psychiatric Association, money worries are the #1 cause for anxiety for Americans. 87% say they are worried about inflation. Your thoughts?
I don't think you need a psychiatric society to tell you that. You just don't. It's just obviously everyone worries about money, and they worry about it correctly. When you look at the inflation numbers, and again, this next month, if you see this number coming out on Wednesday, if it's above 8, you've got a real problem coming into the election, because we've got a month dropping off this index that is a very, very high number, which means that unless it's super high this next month, you're going to see that number dropping substantially from 8.6, 8.7, or whatever it is, down to about 8. So if it comes in over 8, that's very bad news, because then the next 3 numbers coming before the election are very small numbers, so they get dropped off the index 12 months ago, and you're going to see even moderate numbers leading to very sharp increases in inflation. So that's where we are. And one last thing, if I can, Jackie, is that these numbers that are coming down, like oil prices and copper prices and some of these other prices that are coming down, they're as much harbingers of recession as they are harbingers of inflation.
Thank you for saying it.
So when you see oil prices dropping, it's because demand is dropping, copper prices dropping, because new investments, new housing, and all of that's not happening. So this should worry them as much as inflation. It's a sign of a recession being here and coming on, and I'm very concerned about the economy over the next 6 months.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, she's talking about the possibility of a serious recession. That was the change in language now. Now she's saying she doesn't think it will be serious. Listen to her.
I don't see any reason to think that we will have a serious recession. It's almost like we're trying to talk ourselves into a recession. Inflation is our problem, and it is our top priority.
Okay, so first they said there would be no recession. Now it's not a serious recession. And I just want to get to this one last element before I just give you the final word. President Biden is also facing backlash, right? Because he's blaming the Republicans for all of the country's economic problems. He will not step up to the plate and say that he had any hand in this. He tweeted, quote, Republicans are doing nothing but obstructing our efforts to crack down on gas price gouging, lower food prices, lower health care costs, and hopefully soon lower your prescription drug costs. This is not right, and that's why this election is going to be so darn important. I mean, your thoughts on that? You're in the White House, you've got the House, you've basically got the Senate, and you're still blaming the Republicans for everything? I mean, they're not even doing anything.
He's desperate. He's just very desperate. And, you know, he's trying to blame anyone else but the right people. It's the Democratic Congress that's doing it, the House and the Senate. It's the Democratic administration in the White House that's doing it. They have done all of these problems, Jackie, and it's their turn. You know, they're in the hotbird seat, and they need to be able to just take the blame like a person who is responsible. They wanted to be there. They got there. Now they're there. Now take credit or take blame for what you've got. And things have not worked out the way they wanted them to because of their policies, Jackie, not because of the Republicans, because of them.
Yeah, and they talk to Americans like we're stupid. People in this country are not stupid, Art, and I do think this is the kind of stuff, inflation, food prices, gas prices, worrying about getting your kids braces or trying to buy your first home. This is the kind of stuff people think about when they go to cast a ballot. So we'll see.
Jackie, there may be some who are stupid, but they're in the White House primarily. Sorry, I just had to add that a little bit to you. Sorry,
That's
a little
okay.
giggle for today.
That's okay. I'll take it. Art, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.